Hey kings, what's poppin'? It's me, Cheems of Regret, and today I've finally found it. The one video I've been trying to make a response to for however many months I've been active as a commentary channel. What is this video I've been trying to make? Why, it's a response to a full-fledged Xbox fanboy, of course. None of that fence-sitting, grifting, flip-flopping crap gamer nonsense. I'm talking about Xbox can do no wrong, and I'm going to uncritically support them no matter what type of beat. Today we're looking at a video from an Xbox fanboy who says that if you buy Sony or Nintendo products, you're supporting Japan and that makes you a traitor to America. And yes, the video is really that stupid, and then some. So sit back and relax, kings, and let's get this show rolling, shall we? Good frickin' grief, what the hell is that intro?
Hey guys, this is Erok X, the Don King of Xbox, the hype man for the Xbox brand.
Imagine priding yourself as an unpaid hype man for a corporation who only cares about your money. Also, I know my audio isn't the best, but holy shit, at least make some effort to improve it. And the next bit is just him shilling for him and his buddies, so I'm actually gonna speed past that so that we can get to the meat of the subject.
It means me on YouTube. Check me out, it's Erok X on YouTube. Also check me out, it's Erok X on Instagram, where I write a blog. That's where you can mostly find me, man, on Instagram. And it's Erok150 on Xbox. Check me out there. And I need to make this video, man. We had a late night last night, me and the new legal, shout out to the new legal man. We had a great show last night. It was kind of late. We had a great show. And we're going to have a great show, God willing, Sunday night, the Exile Podcast, where we go in on some of these fools in the community. It needs to be done, man. It needs to be done.
Error, self-awareness, not found.
And I'm going to make this video real quick in answer to people who come to my channel, listen to me on New Legals Podcast, listen to my videos, and you're like, Erok, man, why are you so fucking racist? Why do you hate the Japanese so much? Why do you let such racist stuff, racist rhetoric come out of your mouth?
Maybe it's because he's made a gaming brand an integral part of his identity and as such perceives any slight or potential threat against said brand as a slight against him personally. Who knows?
I just want to make it quite clear that I do not hate the Japanese. I respect their culture. I respect their accomplishments. I'm an art historian. I went to college for art history.
I am very tempted to make a point about useless college degrees, but I'd rather save that card until I graduate and actually get a job.
And art history, as you know, basically is world history. It documents world history better than any book, any religious text, any scrolls, any Bible or documentation can ever. Our society, throughout history, Asian, Greco-Roman, Anglo-Saxon, African, Mesoamerican, Pacific Islander. As our society has grown, art has told our story.
A little bit of a side note here, completely unrelated to console wars as a topic, so feel free to skip to the timestamp provided if you don't care. But I feel the need to point out that while art does capture history in a certain sense, it also has the horrible tendency to exaggerate what it portrays for flair. There's a tendency for context to be lost if we're solely relying on art or artistic renditions as a means of remembering history. For example, propaganda art being people's primary source of information on a historical subject. There are people out there who genuinely believe that the Polish army in World War II were stupid enough to charge tanks head-on with lances and sabers because of German propaganda depicting such. This never happened. What really happened is that Polish mounted infantry engaged and defeated a German motorized brigade with a lightning-quick attack before being chased off by a nearby armored car unit. The Polish cavalry had anti-tank guns and bolt-action rifles. They were not using lances or sabers. Anyone who thinks that the Polish were using Napoleonic tactics in World War II fell for Nazi propaganda, which is why we don't solely rely on art as our source for history. Side note over.
So I have nothing but respect for the Japanese culture, their way of life. They some weird motherfuckers over there. You know, all you gotta do is just pop in a copy of Lost in Translation, a great film by Sofia Coppola, starring Bill Murray and Scarlett Johansson, to see how weird they are. But I respect their culture, man. I respect them as a people. What I don't respect is got 2 videos.
You could have easily cut this part up. Why should viewers be subjected to empty pauses which serves no purpose at all? Their time is worth more than that.
I got 2 videos. I have 2 videos in my descriptions. And I want y'all to watch the videos.
No, I'm not hopping off the video and watching another to understand the point. Summarize the points of those videos and provide a link for those interested, then move on. When I cite another video as evidence, I do what I can to ensure the part I'm citing shows up on my current video before providing a link to anyone who wants to verify my citation. Additionally, you must consider that most people watching YouTube are watching it from mobile devices. Asking them to watch another video just to understand your point means clicking off yours and onto someone else's, which isn't as simple as opening a new tab on a phone. If you can't even be bothered to take the extra effort to summarize some other videos to back up your points, what does that say about you as a content creator?
One is by a YouTuber, an actual Xbox community member in Japan. The other video is by no less than CNBC themselves, doing an expose on why Xbox has basically failed in Japan. And why I'm so happy now that Xbox is beyond Japan. You know, xCloud, Xbox as a service, Game Pass. Xbox don't need Japan no more. Before there was a need to penetrate that market with the OG Xbox, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One in its early days. Now there's no need to penetrate that market anymore. We don't need Japan anymore. And I'm glad we don't need them anymore.
I found this video after watching the Xbox Tokyo Game Show showcase, and it's hilarious how bad the guy's statement ended up aging. xCloud and Game Pass is now Xbox schwerpunkt in their efforts to grow in Japan, and with very good reason. You see the problem, the Japanese aren't buying Xbox consoles. However, they are digging PCs and mobile devices in higher and higher numbers. Solution? Sell them Xbox chip on PC and mobile. It's honestly pretty smart and makes a whole lot of sense.
Japan is a nationalist country, which means they are only going to buy their products. They're only going to hype their products.
Mostly because most Western products aren't geared towards the Japanese audience, and as such does not tickle their fancy. But I digress. Clearly Japanese people prefer Japanese products, not because Japanese products are built with the needs, wants, limitations, and requirements of Japanese people in mind, but it's because they hate the filthy gaijin. How could I have been so foolish my whole life?
Okay, and before you mention the iPhone got popular in Japan because it was marketed as being cool and hip. And if anybody knows anything about Japanese, they the younger Japanese, the millennials, they want to be cool and hip. Okay? They don't want to use their father's cell phone. They want to be cool and hip. And so that's how the iPhone was marketed in Japan.
While that may be true, that's not exclusively a Japanese thing. Every young kid wants to look cool and be hip. Why do you think those retarded-ass Supreme t-shirts sold like hotcakes? Because it was the cool and hip thing to have. If Xbox somehow leveraged a similar kind of marketing strategy in its early days, they could have seen similar success. But they absolutely flubbed it and ended up wasting away instead. Now that PC gaming is exploding in Japan, Microsoft has the perfect avenue of approach to slip Xbox into Japan. There is literally no better time for Xbox to push into Japan than now.
How it's marketed in the United States and UK as being this cool and hip thing. It wasn't about that it was the best phone, okay? Japan is a very nationalist country. Hebot said this, I said this. They were never going to support Xbox.
And yet they supported the iPhone due to how it positioned itself in the Japanese market. If Xbox can position itself right in the next few years, who's to say they can't cultivate a healthy following in Japan?
So my question is, if they're not going to support us, why the fuck are we supporting them?
Have you ever heard of the concept of the free market? If a product is shit, you swap to a different product that is less shit. That's how it works. If the Japanese are producing better products than the Americans, we should support those Japanese products so that the Americans get their shit together and make better products. See, that is my main issue with fanboys. They fundamentally do not understand this. They're too caught up with worshipping the damn brand that they can't see that they're ultimately damaging the brands in the long run. Their reflex is to put down the competition and prop up their own, regardless of the true quality at hand. What they don't see is that uncritically praising a game regardless of quality solely due to brand name will make the brand itself stagnate, since it'll feel comfortable pushing out drivel knowing full well that fanboys will eat it up all unconditionally.
So that's where all my heat comes with the the Jez Cordons, the Joff Keelys, the Jabari Clarks, the Puerto Rocks of this world. You blacks, you whites, you Puerto Ricans, you dumb motherfuckers. You busy worshiping these Japanese, and they don't give a fuck about you, your country's well-being, your country's bottom line, or your product.
And American corporations don't care about you either. So what's your point?
You putting money into their economy. You helping their economy grow, which makes no fucking sense.
This is why I was tempted to make fun of his choice in getting an arts history degree earlier. It strikes me that this guy has no clue how economics and logistics work. Granted, I'm not the smartest when it comes to it either, but I at the very least understand the basics. When Japanese products are sold in America, Japan isn't the only one making money off of it. America is too.
How could this be?
Well, I'm so glad that you asked. Let's look at the logistics of it, shall we? Let's use a PlayStation for example. Let us assume for the sake of this example that it is produced in Japan. The process is that they ship it to the States, where it is sold in a retail store to some random American who was looking for a game console. Throughout this entire process, Americans take a cut every step of the way. American companies took a cut when they delivered the consoles across the country. American retail companies took a cut when they sold it to the end user. And throughout the entire process, Uncle Sam himself takes a cut through whatever tax it can levy. After hearing all that, are you still so monumentally stupid to believe that the entire $500 retail cost for PlayStation is going only to Japan? And before any of you 900 IQ big brains try to debunk this by bringing up digital purchases, those also get taxed in one way, shape, or form.
So I can do nothing but look at you as an American and look at y'all as traitors.
What the hell? Are you serious? Motherfucker is actually calling y'all traitors for buying Japanese products. That's just fucking stupid. I'm not American, so this doesn't apply to me, but seriously, what the fuck? He's calling y'all traitors for choosing a Japanese product that caters to your preferences better than the American ones.
Oh, you're not real Americans, you buy Japanese stuff. Fuck Demon Slayer, fuck all those other mangas that are dominating sales charts and pick up the new Warriors instead.
Like geez, the brain on this guy. Also, I'd like to point out that both the Xbox and the PlayStation alike use components sourced from and assembled in China. A major geopolitical rival to America, might I remind you. So Erok, if you're really about all that America-only mentality, you should stop buying electronics entirely.
I'm an American. I'm gonna buy American. VCO, my TV's American, my underwear's American, my refrigerator's American, Kenmore. The only Japanese thing I own is my car, which is a Honda Accord. I didn't buy that car. My company bought me that car. That car was a gift from my company. Saying, Erok, thanks for your work helping us build this brand over here in Philadelphia. Here, man, take the keys to this car. Times being what they were, I took the motherfucker. Had I had a choice, I would have bought American.
So when it's convenient to you, buying Japanese is not treachery?
I love America. I love this country. Okay? I'm a black man born in the United States. I'm gonna support America, support American products. Right?
Well, that is a pretty fair stance to take. You can be proud of your country and do what you can to support your own. But you have to ask yourself, at what point does shilling for your own country become detrimental to its growth? Sometimes you need to give them a swift kick in the butt to get them back on track. Most of those times, buying from the competition is the best way to do that. And well, if they still refuse to learn, frankly by that point, they have no business being in business anymore.
I am adamantly against motherfuckers constantly hyping up these Japanese products, hyping up these Japanese like they're gods, like they're above us.
Error. Self-awareness still not found.
When they really don't fucking like us. They really don't like us. They're glad to get y'all money, but they really don't fucking like us. And so why am I going to give they Jap asses any money?
And you seriously think American corporations are any different? Why?
Not gonna happen. So if I come off as racist, if I come off as anti-Japanese, if I come off as a little bit harsh in my videos, I'm not mad at you if you unsubscribe. You can unsubscribe. It's all good, baby boy. It's all good.
Well then, it's a good thing I was never subscribed in the first place.
I'm gonna keep doing what I do till the wheels fall off this shit. I'm gonna keep supporting America, man. The only good thing about Donald Trump's campaign is he said, make America great. You know what I mean? It took a dumbass to say, make America great. I'm with that. That's the only thing about that nigga I'm with. But I need y'all to watch these two videos. These 2 videos explain everything better than I ever could.
No, I'm not hopping off and watching something else just to understand your points. Not that it matters anyways, because sometime between when I wrote the first half of the script and when I finished it, he took down the original video, so those links are gone. This could all have been avoided if he bothered to put some extra effort into his video and just summarized those 2 supporting videos into digestible points. But that's clearly too much work for his fanboy brain, so I digress.
It's got nothing to do with Xbox's marketing. It's got nothing to do with they're not trying hard enough in Japan. They tried. Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon. You know what I mean? The S controller. They tried. You know what I mean? We're at a point now, I'm so glad with Xbox where we don't need Japan anymore. But in case you need to know why Xbox failed in Japan, these 2 videos that are in my description can explain it better than I ever could. And they can explain my stance better than I ever could. About why I'm so anti-supporting PlayStation and Nintendo and worshiping these Japanese the way y'all do. To this almost ridiculous point. Jazz Cord and Saltiest Gamer. Oh, look, a Japanese. They're speaking. Oh my god. I don't give a fuck about them.
Now that is actually a very reasonable attitude. Treating a brand as if it were your god and uncritically worshipping it is very stupid indeed. Now if only this guy applied it equally to all brands regardless of origin.
The reason why I love Xbox is because ever since 2001, Xbox has been like, we're going to get American developers, we're going to put them on our platform, on an American-made product, well, made in Mexico, but an American-made product.
So Xboxes were never made in America, huh? And to add to that, newer Xboxes are made in China, which I have to reiterate is America's biggest geopolitical rival right now. Erok, if you really believe the things you were saying, you'd avoid buying Xbox consoles altogether, since that puts money into the Chinese economy. Anyways, I'm just about done with this video. He goes on for another minute or so repeating his points, and I don't feel like repeating myself over and over again, so I'll just skip all of that. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and join my Discord server if you feel like it. This is Cheems of Regret wishing good luck and Godspeed to all of you. Signing out.